Positivity ain't something you stumble into. It's not luck. It's not timing. It's not the universe randomly picking you out of a crowd. It's discipline. It's the daily decision to choose strength over stress, purpose over panic, focus over fear. People love to act like positivity is some natural gift that only a few people are born with, but that's not the truth. The truth is, it's work, it's a commitment, it's a mindset you train like muscle memory, and the ones who master it, they didn't get blessed with the right conditions, they built the right habits. Staying positive means waking up every day and deciding you're not giving the world permission to drag you into chaos. It means you don't let people dump their negativity on you like you're a landfill for their emotions. It means you choose to protect your inner space the same way you protect your money, your goals, your peace. Because the moment you allow negativity to run your thoughts, your whole life starts moving in the direction of your fears instead of your future. But here's the real game: positivity is hardest when it matters most. It's easy to feel good when everything is going your way. Anybody can smile when they're winning. Anybody can be grateful when life is smooth. The real test is staying anchored when the storm hits, when bills pile up, when relationships fall apart, when plans collapse, when the people you trusted don't show up the way you hoped. That's where discipline kicks in. That's where you decide whether your mindset is controlled by pressure or controlled by purpose. Life has a way of hitting you with unexpected weight, and most people fold because they never train themselves to think above the surface. They react impulsively. They spiral. They let fear do the driving and wonder why they keep ending up in the same place. But disciplined positivity is different. It slows you down, clears your vision, and reminds you that everything you feel is temporary, but everything you believe becomes permanent. You learn to ask better questions. You learn to interpret challenges as instructions instead of punishments. See, when positivity is disciplined, you don't avoid the dark moments. You outgrow them. You don't fake happiness. You build resilience. You don't pretend everything is perfect. You make everything purposeful. You stop feeding your mind garbage. You stop entertaining conversations that drain you. You stop surrounding yourself with people who live off negativity like oxygen. Because you can't stay positive in a polluted environment. You can't think big when you're surrounded by small thinkers. And you can't elevate with people who fear heights. Discipline means curating everything: what you watch, what you listen to, what you speak, what you absorb. It means investing in yourself mentally the same way others invest financially. It means being honest enough to say, these habits are holding me back, and strong enough to actually change them. Most people never do that part. They want a positive life without positive patterns. They want peace without boundaries. They want strength without sacrifice. But understand this: positivity is not denial. It's not ignoring reality. It's choosing to respond with intention instead of emotion. It's choosing clarity over chaos. It's seeing the same situation everyone else sees, but deciding to approach it with a different energy. That's power. That's self-mastery. That's how you start moving through life like you're the one steering your destiny instead of being tossed around by circumstances. And over time, it becomes a lifestyle. You stop chasing validation. You stop arguing with people who aren't growing. You stop letting setbacks define your identity. You learn to breathe through frustration. You learn to pause before reacting. You learn to speak life into your own dreams when nobody's clapping. You become unshakable not because life got easier, but because you got stronger. People will look at you and say, you're always calm, or you're always focused, or nothing seems to break you, like it's magic. They don't see the discipline behind it. They don't see the nights you had to talk yourself out of quitting. They don't see the mornings you had to force your mindset into alignment. They don't see the times you had to cut off people you cared about because they were poisoning your peace. Positivity is discipline. It's work. It's choosing to grow instead of crumble. And once you understand that, once you practice it, once you commit to it every single day, your whole trajectory shifts. You start attracting opportunities. You start building stability. You start moving with purpose. You start becoming the version of yourself you always knew you could be. And that's when life starts hitting different, because you're not reacting anymore, you're creating. Your mindset is your engine. It's the part of you that determines whether you move forward, stay stuck, or fall backwards. People love to talk about goals, plans, hustle, grind, but none of that means anything if your mind isn't tuned right. Your thoughts are the fuel, the power source, the ignition. And if that engine is weak, clogged, confused, or running on negativity, you're not going anywhere no matter how hard you press the gas. Life responds to the way you think long before it responds to the way you act. Everything starts inside first. Before you elevate in the physical world, you got to elevate in your mental world. If your mind is filled with doubt, fear, jealousy, or scarcity, you'll sabotage every blessing you're trying to chase. Not because you're not capable, but because you're not aligned. You can't build something big with small thinking. You can't create abundance with a mindset that still expects loss. You can't manifest greatness when you're still arguing with limitations you inherited from people who never went anywhere. Your mindset is the engine, and engines have to be maintained. You gotta check what you're feeding yourself. You gotta inspect the thoughts you repeat every day. You gotta be aware of the voices you let influence your direction. Too many people let outside noise dictate their inner decisions. They let opinions become obstacles. They let fear become strategy. They let past failures become forecasts. And then they wonder why their life feels like it's stuck in park. You can't expect forward motion with backward thinking. You can't expect progress when your mind is clinging to excuses disguised as reality. The moment you shift your mindset, everything around you shifts with it. You start noticing possibilities you never saw before. You start solving problems instead of getting buried by them. You start moving with confidence instead of hesitation. You start approaching life like you deserve something bigger, and that energy attracts a whole different level of opportunities. But here's the truth most people don't want to hear. Strengthening your mindset is uncomfortable. It requires accountability. It forces you to confront old beliefs that kept you safe but small. It makes you unlearn habits that feel familiar but limit your growth. It demands that you replace complaining with action, excuses with discipline, and self-doubt with self-respect. That's why most people avoid the work, because it requires them to rewrite the story they've been repeating for years. Your engine can't run on yesterday's fuel. You gotta pour in new thoughts, new perspectives, new discipline. You gotta expose yourself to environments that stretch your thinking instead of shrinking it. You gotta surround yourself with people who challenge your comfort zone, not reinforce your stagnation. A strong mindset doesn't grow from being around negativity, gossip, fear-driven decisions, and low expectations. If everyone around you is thinking small, you will too, unless you make a deliberate choice to elevate your internal standards. A powerful mindset doesn't mean you don't struggle. It means you don't fold. It means when adversity hits, you don't panic, you adjust. You don't ask, why me? You ask, what is this trying to teach me? You don't give your energy to things that drain your direction. You don't let temporary emotions make permanent decisions. You move like someone who knows where they're going even when the path isn't clear yet. Your mindset controls your pace. It controls your resilience. It controls your ability to bounce back. It controls the way you talk to yourself when nobody's listening. It controls how you interpret failure, whether you see it as a dead end or a detour. It controls your patience, your hunger, your discipline, your ability to turn setbacks into setups. Most importantly, it controls your vision. Your life can only expand as far as your mind allows it to. And people will say you've changed. They'll say you're different. They'll say you're distant. What they really mean is you stopped thinking like them. You outgrew the thoughts that kept you in cycles. You upgraded your engine while they're still running on fumes. And that's okay. Elevation isn't a group project. Your mindset has to outgrow your environment before your life does. Once you understand that your mindset is your engine, you stop looking for external motivation. You stop waiting for someone to save you. You stop seeking permission. You realize the power you're looking for is already inside you. It just needs to be activated. You start moving like someone who knows their potential is non-negotiable. And when your mindset reaches that level, your life starts accelerating in ways people can't understand because they weren't there when you rebuilt your engine from the inside. This is how you take control. This is how you create momentum. This is how you rise. It all starts with the thoughts you choose to believe and the mindset you choose to build, because nothing in your life moves until your mind does. And once your mind moves, everything else has no choice but to follow. Energy is currency. People act like it's invisible, like it's something that can't be stolen, borrowed, or spent carelessly. But the truth is, it's one of the most valuable assets you have. And just like money, it can be invested, saved, wasted, or drained by the wrong people. Most of us are good at protecting material things. We lock our doors, guard our wallets, check our bank accounts, track our investments. But when it comes to energy, our focus, our time, our peace, we leave it wide open for anyone to take. That stops today. You got to treat your energy like the most expensive thing in your life, because in reality, it is. Every interaction, every conversation, every environment you step into either deposits into your account or subtracts from it. And most people never think about that. They hang around people who complain constantly, people who gossip, people who live off fear, doubt, and distraction. They argue with people who don't have solutions. They feed into problems that don't serve them, and they wonder why they feel drained, stuck, and frustrated. That's because energy is finite. You can't spread yourself thin, and you can't let every outside influence dictate your internal state. Discipline is required. Awareness is required. Boundaries are required. Protecting your energy doesn't mean you become cold or unapproachable. It means you get selective. It means you understand that the people who can't elevate you, inspire you, or challenge you in a constructive way have no business in your personal space. You don't let their chaos become your chaos. You don't let their poor decisions become your lessons. You don't let their negativity rob you of your peace. You guard it like you guard your assets, because your energy is the capital that fuels your vision, your growth, and your impact. Think about it. If you had $1 million in the bank, would you leave the doors open and invite anyone to come take it? No. You'd have security, locks, alarms, verification. You'd be intentional about deposits and withdrawals. Energy works the same way. You can't just give it to anyone. You can't spend it on people or things that depreciate its value. You have to be intentional about who and what gets access. That's how you stay sharp. That's how you stay focused. That's how you elevate. The world will try to tax you constantly. Drama, gossip, jealousy, distractions, doubts, they're all forms of taxation on your energy. And the people who thrive on draining others, they're relentless. They don't care about your goals. They don't care about your peace. They don't care about your time. They just want to feed on the vibrations you carry. If you don't protect yourself, they'll take everything you've got without you even realizing it. And before you know it, your account is empty, and you're wondering why nothing's working. Protecting your energy also means protecting your focus. You can't spend hours on things that don't matter and expect exponential returns. You can't obsess over what people think. You can't dwell on what's outside your control. Just like money, energy should be invested with strategy. Invested in relationships that inspire growth. Invested in habits that strengthen your mind and body. Invested in work that builds legacy. Don't waste it on anything that diminishes your value. The more disciplined you become, the more energy you'll have to create, to lead, and to win. Boundaries are the key. Saying no is not selfish, it's protection. Turning off negativity, limiting toxic interactions, stepping away from drama, refusing to argue with people who don't want to understand. These are all ways you safeguard your energy. And as you do that, something powerful happens. Your frequency rises, your focus sharpens, your peace deepens. Opportunities find you faster because the vibration you're sending out is aligned with growth, not chaos. And here's the real lesson. When you protect your energy like your money, you start understanding its value. You stop giving it away for free. You stop letting temporary distractions cost you permanent progress. You become conscious of where your effort, attention, and emotions go. And that awareness changes the game entirely because energy is life itself. What you focus on grows, what you feed grows, and what you protect multiplies. At the end of the day, you have a choice. You can live with open gates, letting every person and every situation drain you, or you can be deliberate. You can guard your energy with the same vigilance, the same discipline, the same respect you give to your financial wealth. When you do that, life starts moving different. You start operating on another level. You start building, creating, and impacting without unnecessary drain. You start living like the CEO of your own life, and nothing can touch the foundation you're protecting. Struggle is part of the game. It's always been part of the story. Life doesn't hand out victories to everyone, and it sure as hell doesn't hand out easy ones. But here's the key. Struggle is not a stop sign. It's not a signal that you failed or that you're not cut out for greatness. It's a signal that growth is required, that the work isn't finished, that the next level is waiting, and it's going to demand more from you than the last. The way most people react to struggle is what keeps them stuck. They see it as proof that they're incapable, as confirmation that the world is against them, as evidence that their dreams are too big. That's a mindset built for defeat. But if you flip the lens, struggle becomes fuel. It becomes the energy that propels you forward, the lesson that sharpens you, the pressure that forms diamonds. When struggle hits, most people fold mentally before they ever fold physically. They let fear, doubt, and frustration take control. They replay the worst case scenarios in their head over and over, imagining that this moment defines their future. And the worst part is, struggle will hit everyone, rich, poor, young, old. No one is immune, but not everyone reacts the same way. Some let it break them, and some use it to build an unshakable foundation. The difference is the internal dialogue. The difference is whether you let struggle confirm defeat or convert it into fuel. That internal choice decides everything. Fuel is energy. Struggle is full of energy if you know how to tap it. Every obstacle contains a lesson. Every loss contains insight. Every failure contains a blueprint for adjustment. If you can step back and see struggle objectively, you realize it's not punishment. It's guidance. It's a way for life to test your commitment to yourself, your discipline, and your vision. When you approach it like that, every tough moment adds horsepower to your engine. Every setback teaches you what not to do next. Every disappointment sharpens your strategy. Struggle is the raw material for success. It's your job to process it, refine it, and turn it into power. But here's where most people get it wrong. They dwell on struggle like it's an identity. They start wearing it as a badge of limitation instead of a tool of elevation. They let the circumstances define them instead of letting their mindset define how they navigate the circumstances. That's the trap, thinking that just because life is heavy, you must be broken. That's not true. Heavy is a test. Heavy is opportunity. Heavy is a chance to see if your vision is bigger than your pain. If it is, then struggle becomes your greatest ally instead of your enemy. Using struggle as fuel requires a level of mental toughness. It requires patience, discipline, and focus. It requires the ability to step back and ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I use this? How can this make me stronger, smarter, faster, better? You can't skip this step. You can't pretend struggle isn't happening. You have to face it, process it, and then redirect it. That's how winners are made. That's how leaders are built. That's how legacies are forged. Every person who's ever accomplished something significant didn't have it easy. They had the ability to turn struggle into momentum. And momentum is the key. Struggle by itself is wasted energy if it doesn't move you forward. Complaining, feeling sorry for yourself, blaming the world, that's just burning fuel without going anywhere. But using struggle as fuel is proactive. It's intentional. It's deciding that every hard moment will teach you something, that every failure will refine you, that every obstacle is a stepping stone instead of a wall. When you do this consistently, you start seeing life differently. You start seeing challenges as invitations to rise, not signs to retreat. You start seeing pressure as acceleration, not weight. And that mindset is unstoppable. The people who make it out of struggle aren't the ones who never fell. They're the ones who refuse to let the fall define them. They took the pain, the rejection, the frustration, and they converted it into action. They doubled down. They studied harder. They moved smarter. They worked longer. They adapted. They refused to let the world or circumstances or temporary setbacks decide their narrative. That's the secret. Struggle isn't the end. It's fuel. It's opportunity. It's the energy that separates those who dream from those who achieve. So when life hits hard, don't let it convince you that you've lost. Don't let it whisper that you're not enough. Don't let it make you shrink. Use it. Learn from it. Convert it. Let every hard moment be a spark that lights your next move. Let every difficulty increase your resolve. Let every challenge teach you what it takes to win. Struggle is not confirmation of defeat. It's the raw energy of success waiting to be harnessed. And when you finally learn to use it that way, you become unstoppable. Your environment shapes everything. The people you surround yourself with, the places you spend your time, the conversations you participate in, all of it builds or breaks your potential. Elevation doesn't happen in a vacuum. You can't expect to rise above your circumstances if you're constantly immersed in them. Your surroundings either lift you or weigh you down, and most of the time, the difference between success and stagnation is who and what you allow in your space. Elevation isn't just about talent, ambition, or hustle. It's about being in an ecosystem that aligns with your vision, challenges your limits, and protects your energy. Most people underestimate this. They think if they're grinding hard enough, if they're smart enough, if they just pray long enough, the environment won't matter. But it does. If you're around people who gossip, complain, or thrive off chaos, your own mindset gets polluted without you realizing it. If your spaces are cluttered, distracting, or draining, your focus suffers. Elevation requires clarity, and clarity requires conscious selection of your environment. Your success mirrors the quality of energy you absorb daily. If you want to rise, you have to be deliberate about what and who surrounds you. Think about it like this: every interaction leaves a residue. Every conversation, every argument, every collaboration, every relationship deposits either positive fuel or negative drain into your mental and emotional account. Some people are lifters. They inspire. They challenge you to grow. They hold you accountable. They celebrate your victories without jealousy. Others are leeches. They're comfortable with mediocrity. They resent ambition. They feed on excuses. And they measure their value by how much they can pull from yours. Your environment is full of both types. Elevation requires that you recognize who belongs in your inner circle and who doesn't. And it's not just people. Physical spaces and routines matter too. Are you in a place that fosters focus and creativity, or are you surrounded by distractions and chaos? Are your routines structured to build momentum, or are they scattered and reactive? Elevation demands intentionality in every